Mr. B and Mrs. B. Brain dump. Awesome. Oh yeah. Like the boss. Awesome. Like the boss. Oh yeah.
Awesome. Oh, hello everyone. I'm just out testing the bike, as I do. Still trying to get it just right. And I'm just checking that my ABS is now switched off. So I'm just checking that out. And then we'll get to why in a minute. I'm just checking I'm happy with it now. Oh god, that's better now. I can actually lock the back up. Well, you can see the ABS light is on, which is brilliant for me. I had a bit of failure moment. I thought I switched it off, but in fact I managed to switch the fan off. And I was thinking, why is the ABS still working? Grr. Epic fail. Anyway, so should we just get on with it? Yeah. Why I turned off my ABS, we'll call this. So let's crack on. Not sure what he's doing there. So yeah, why have I disabled it? Okay, well, as you know, and if you don't, I've been riding bikes a long time and I've never ridden bikes with ABS. So as you know, I've bought a new bike. I bought the MT09. Here it is, with its ABS light on, telling me it's not working. Look at butts. Now, so why, Mr. B? Why? Well, I've tried to get on with ABS on this bike. I really have, but it's not doing it for me. It makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't feel safe. My brakes are unpredictable, and I just don't like it. It completely removes the feel of the road. It's horrible. I can't cope with it, and not knowing when it may or may not decide to start disabling my brakes and then enable them again really quickly is just scares the living daylights out of me, basically. And I don't feel confident on the bike without proper brakes. And everyone's going to say, oh, proper brakes, but you've got ABS, blah blah blah. Just calm down. Let me explain. Proper brakes for me is brakes that I have control of. And they've started putting ABS on bikes, and someone's going to say, so why did you buy an MT09 with ABS then? Well, the answer is because I couldn't get this bike without it. They have stopped doing it. You cannot buy non-ABS MT09s now unless they're orange, because apparently orange is the only colour that's not selling much. So yeah, that's why I've got that's why I've got an ABS MT09, because I had to. I couldn't get what I wanted otherwise, and I didn't want an orange one. Okay, so that's why I've got an ABS MT09. And I have been trying to get into the old ABS thing, but I just no control over my rear brake at all. It's just horrible. So as you can see, proper look. So I've disabled it. Well, sorry, no, I've switched it off. Let's call it switch it off. Disabling sounds so, I don't know, so wrong as opposed to switching it off. Now, the difference between the two is that the ABS, well, the difference between the two is, one, there's no switch on here, so I can't actually switch it off. The other bikes that you have with ABS have a dash option on the dash where you can switch off ABS. The end result is the same. The ABS doesn't work. Okay, so I've switched mine off. via a method that I will show in another video, which is way after this one, so that I can point to this video to explain why I've done it. I'm thinking ahead like a boss. So what I want to do now, because I can't really focus on the topic, 'cause it's quite an important one, I think, whilst riding and looking out for idiots at the same time. Although riding in a 30 is somewhat more doable, because you can stop so much quicker. Oh, did you see what I did there, talking about ABS and stopping quicker? This may be a long one, alright? I'm sorry. Probably not advisable to skip, because you might miss something that I say that has weight to what I'm talking about. Now, another warning, I will talk about there'll be a small amount of physics in this, okay? Only a small amount, yeah, don't worry. But there will be some physics involved in ABS and this, that and the other, and I really need to stop. Let me find a place to stop and talk about this, because I want to show you something as well. So let me... Right, I found a spot for you. Put him back in here a minute. So what are we here for? Okay, yeah, that's right. Why I disabled my ABS. Alrighty then. So I've disabled it because I can't get on with it. I've never had ABS before, and I don't like the feel of it, and the principle scares me, and the whole thing really. I walk around the bike, so you've got something to look at while I'm talking, and I'll show you something out of here soon as well. There we go. Right. So yeah, there's the MT09 anyway. Got some flies on it. I'll get them off next time we clean it. And what have I done to it now? I've got my Ride Invisible sticker on. I've switched off my ABS. I've done the tail tidy. I'm considering... I've got a K&N air filter on the way. It takes a while to arrive. What's that in there? Oh, it's just a frame. It takes a while to arrive, so as soon as it does, I'll do that. It's not the most simplest procedure in terms of, you know, lift the tank up and you have to unbolt loads of stuff, but anyway, I'll do a video on that. And I've got the Akrapovic exhaust on there without the DB killer, and that's it really. And that's it, the MT09, and it's an awesome hooligan, love it. So yeah, ABS, and as you can see, we've got ABS. Here it is here, little sensors and everything else. So why have I switched it off then, you're probably wondering? Well, essentially, it's the whole principle, and talk about physics a little bit, of what ABS is and what it does. Now, obviously ABS is, I'll say ABS is aimed at new riders, and dare I say, riders that have not been or have not had enough experience of using normal brakes. And so they put ABS on, and they call it a safety feature for new riders who have got a habit of just grabbing a fistful of front brake, yeah, because obviously if you do that, you will come off on a normal braked bike, there's no doubt about it. Circumstances where that may not happen, all depends, but ultimately you can't just snatch the front brake, okay, you just can't, you'll come off. And so they've put ABS on to stop people coming off when they snatch the front brake. That's the theory behind it anyway. Now there's a couple of reasons why we don't snatch the front brake, and I'll tell you why you do come off when you snatch the front brake. If you snatch the front brake, you'll lock up the front wheel, okay? Because there's no weight on the front wheel. The bike is smoothly balanced, okay? And if you just whack on the front brake, you will, you know, quite often the front will just lock up and slide away. So, and the first thing you learn when riding a motorbike, or I did, was how to use the brakes. And how I use the brakes is, well, firstly, I slightly touched the rear brake first. There's not a lot in it, it's, you know, but it's just about rear brake first, just to get a little bit of force down to the front to start with, okay, not heavy braking on the rear, just a little, enough to get a bit of downforce on the front, followed by a slow and progressive squeeze on the front. What this does is it puts all the weight of the bike onto the front wheel, which is exactly where you want it, because in order for that front wheel to stop and get grip, it needs weight on it. And so progressively pulling on the front with a bit of assistance from the rear to get it all started gives you the most pressure on that front tyre. Really bed that into the tarmac and get a really good grip, real good stopping power. And that's how you use normal brakes. You cannot snatch a front brake if it hasn't got ABS. You just can't, because there's no weight on the front. It will just slide, instantly slide. And if you look at my how to do a burnout video, the key element to all of that is getting the weight on the front to stop the bike from flipping moving forwards by slipping. So, okay. So now you understand why I can't get on with it, because I can't get on with it because I can't use the rear brake. Now, quite often when I'm riding, I'm on the Hayabusa, I may well from time to time lock up the rear deliberately or require the rear to lock up, and the same on this bike. And currently all I'm getting is the bouncing from the pedal, and the brakes feel horrible, and I have no feel of the road at all. When you haven't got ABS, you can feel the road, you can feel when tyres are starting to slip, and you can adjust the pressure on the levers. With ABS you can't, you just throw caution to the wind basically. So what I want to show you next is, I'm going to use my camera down here, in the book, okay, in the book, I'll read it out for you as well. Warning: always keep a sufficient distance from the vehicle ahead to match the riding speed, even with ABS. Yeah, so in other words, you still have to ride safely even though you've got ABS. Bullet number 1: the ABS performs best with long braking distances. Okay, now long braking distances, yeah? Snatching the throttle is not a long braking distance. So I have a question mark there already on ABS. If it's designed to help new riders snatching the front brake, it only works best at over long braking distances. And you know why that is, isn't you? Because I just explained it. Initially you're slow onto the brakes, not slow, but I've just described it anyway, to get that weight on the front. So there we go. So ABS does the same in that respect as normal brakes, as you would expect, getting the weight on the front and getting more grip. And then it says also on certain surfaces such as rough or gravel roads, the braking distance may be longer with the ABS than without. And you know why that is, don't you? I've just told you why. Because there is no weight on the front wheel when you snatch the front brake on loose surfaces. It will definitely slip. And if it definitely slips, what happens then is the ABS releases, okay, to let the wheel start turning again, but you're on a loose surface, so as soon as it goes to engage the front brake again, it locks up again, because there's no weight on the front still, and you can't feather it like you can with normal brakes, you know, once you get used to brakes. So it keeps snatching on and keeps slipping, and your braking distance just goes on forever. And something like ice, ABS is renowned for being pathetic on ice. And in the book it also states, I'm not going to show you it now, but it's in there, and it says when you use ABS you basically grab a fistful and don't let go, okay? Let the ABS work, they say. Yeah, but on ice you're never going to stop. You must be able to control the brakes, and unfortunately when ABS kicks in, that's not going to happen. So ABS, that's why I've switched it off. I can't get on with it. I can't feel the road, I can't feel the brakes. It's not good. Okay. Now I'm an experienced rider, been riding for years, and all the disclaimers, you know, don't disable your ABS unless you know what you're doing. You have to tell your insurance company that you switched it off, and all that good stuff. I'm not sure how it works with bikes that come with a switch, because you kind of either got it on or off. It doesn't really make any difference. But anyway, let your insurance company know that you have switched it off if you have got a bike like an MT09. And in my next video I'll show you how to switch off your ABS if you've been forced to get a bike with ABS. And there we go, really. I think I've covered it, and if you've got any questions, obviously put them down below. I'm sure it'll create a reaction. I'm sure I'll get some dislikes because I've switched off my ABS, but you know, a lot of bikes you can switch it off on anyway, so I can't on the MT09, so I've found a way of switching it off, and that's it. And I have to say I love the bike as well. So there we go, and that's it really. I hope you enjoyed a little look around the bike as well. One more walk round. I'll get a different number plate for it, something more in tune with the tail tidy, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that's it really. That's the Hooligan. Non-ABS now, just with the extra weight. Okay, right, so thanks for watching. I'm sure that'll generate lots of discussion. Okay, maybe we can talk about it on a hangout or something. But I hope you found that interesting, and I'm sure it'll provoke some sort of reactions. But anyway, that's why I switched off my ABS. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Ride Invisible.
Mr. B and Mrs. B. Brain dump. Awesome. Oh yeah. Like the boss. Awesome. Like the boss. Oh yeah. Awesome. Like the boss. Like the boss.
Oh, that's better now. I've got proper brakes. Let him off, put his hand up. He knew he was in the wrong.